Welcome back to the Kwasi Arsenal channel. My name is Kwasi. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal are closing in on a deal to sign Gyokerez according to Abola Sport in Portugal. And Andrea Berta has had another round of talks scheduled with the management of the player. He's trying to convince him to leave all the other options that he has on the table and we are competing with. Mikel Arteta has confirmed that he has held talks with William Saliba and Thomas Partey as well. Both players are willing to stay. He's certain both players will stay at Arsenal beyond reasonable doubt. But also, in the same press conference, Mikel has asked for attacking options. Once again, this is almost like the 10th time we have had Mikel Arteta in a press conference calling out for attacking options. We'll also talk about the signing of Bilal El Khanous, one of the players that Arsenal are really tracking. 30 million euros is a deal that could be done, but are Arsenal really going to splash about 30 million on a relegated player? We'll be talking about that as well. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Arsenal tracking Gyokeres to be our second signing of the summer as we try to get our signings done nice and early. Now, according to Abola Sport in Portugal, and this was also collaborated by Florian Plattenberg, there is a round of talks that has been scheduled between Andrea Berta and the management of Gyokeres once again. According to Abola, a couple of round of talks have been held between the two parties, and it seems like we are in consensus with each other. Andrea Berta is really hungry about signing Gyokeres, and also the management of the player looks at Arsenal as the right project to join this summer. But interestingly, from Florian Plattenberg, you could say Sky Sport Germany, because he really represents Sky Sports Germany in the transfer window. He has actually said that Berta is pushing and advancing on the Gyokeres deal, and it is now more certain that Gyokeres will become the Arsenal striker rather than not. It's about when rather than if. And that is because Berta coming in, he just, informed Mikel Arteta that the Newcastle negotiations wouldn't go through for Alexander Isak. And of course, he also looked at the Benjamin Sesko deal and he said there is no way you're signing Benjamin Sesko for 70 million without trying the likes of Gyokeres, without trying the likes of Ollie Watkins first, because that is the caliber that is just below Alexander Isak. So it looks like Berta is pushing for this one, and Mikel Arteta is content with it as well. We know that Mikel has a very big say on who comes in at the club. And I think in the last few years, what we have seen in terms of a centre forward is Mikel wanting someone who is so good with the ball at his feet. Now, Gyokeres isn't that player. He's a different profile. He's a fox in the box. He loves that number 9 finish. He loves that number 9 positioning. It's very different from Sesko. It's very different from Alexander Isak. But that is the work that Andrea Berta has actually done at Arsenal so far. Coming in and convincing a very stubborn manager in Mikel Arteta, by the way, that you don't need a ball player. You've got enough ball players. You have around 10 ball players in midfield. You have around 5 ball players in attack as well. And all your backline is full of ball players. You need an effective number 9. You don't need a ball player. And I still remember when we played under Arsene Wenger. There are times when Arsenal literally had bad games, but we had a centre forward we could rely on, whether that was Robert Van Persie in his last season to join Manchester United, whether that was Emmanuel Adebayo, whether that was Eduardo da Silva. We've always had that number 9, and Wenger still, he went and signed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as one of his last efforts for Arsenal. He knew the importance of having a fox in the box. He knew the importance of having a clinical number 9. A game might not go in your way in terms of possession, in terms of maybe the referee is not on your side, but then it's still 0-0 or it's 1-1 and you can still get a point. There's so many times when Olivier Giroud came on for us in the 70th minute or 80th minute and just one header and then you get a point, or just one header and you win the game. So I think that's what Andrea Berta is looking at. Can we get players, or can we get a guy that can come into this Arsenal side and win us a game or get us a draw? We've had around 13 draws just in the Premier League this season. In the whole season, about 18 draws so far. And that tells you that we lack game winners. It's as simple as that. Of course, it's not as simple as that. There's a lot of metadata that you can break down to understand why Arsenal are not winning games, dropping points from winning positions, and all that. But if you just think about it, this is an Arsenal side that literally never concede 3 goals. Like, we don't concede two or more goals. It's always 2 or less. So if this Arsenal team is not conceding 3 goals, that tells you something. It tells you that we are not scoring enough. And I've seen a few people saying, listen, it's not as simple as that. It's as simple as that. This team is so good defensively that we have gone a whole year without conceding 3 goals in a single game. But yet, we sit in second, 4 points above a Manchester City side that have been quite awful this campaign. And the problem with Arsenal has been we don't score enough goals. It's as simple as that. So that's why you have a lot of 0-0s, you have a lot of 1-1s, and I don't think we have a lot of 2-2s. We have a lot of 1-1s and a lot of 0-0s in our draws because we don't score enough goals. And maybe Andrea Berta coming in, he's analyzed the performances, he's analyzed the data, and he's gone, they need a goal scorer. It's as simple as that. And I've always said that at times the solutions to Arsenal problems have always been as simple as that. And at times they've been hard. I mean, if you ask me right now, which attacking midfielder do Arsenal need? I have no idea. Like, there's a Ryan Sharkey there, that's a different profile, but then you have someone like Xavi Simons, that is a different profile. What do Arsenal need in that regard? I don't know, probably something like an Eberechi Eze. We'll figure that out maybe when we talk about midfielders. But with Victor Gyokerez, I kind of agree with Andrea Berta. You don't need a Benjamin Sesko. You don't need all these novice strikers. What you need is a guy that can come in and just convert draws into wins. If you can get to do that, I think we are getting somewhere. Now, there's been tension hanging around the contract situation of William Saliba, but Mikel Arteta has actually broken that down. He said, I am certain, I have held talks with William Saliba, and he has told me that he has no intentions of leaving the club. He would love to stay beyond this summer, and he would love to extend his contract with us, so he would love to stay at the club. And that's the same with Thomas Partey. Mikel was asked about Thomas Partey, and he said, Partey is a starter for us, he's an important player for us, and we would love him to stay. So if Arsenal can agree a deal with Partey, you're gonna have to see him, stay, whether you like it or not. With William Saliba, I think Arsenal are in safer waters as compared to someone like Gabriel or someone like Thomas Partey. This is why. So with William Saliba, he's gonna cost millions, like hundreds of millions, probably 100 million, maybe 80 million or 90 million. And I don't think Madrid, in recent years, I don't think their strategy is to splash 100 million on William Saliba. That is not their strategy. Their strategy is to look at a player, follow him, and towards that period where he has to sign a new deal, they will disorganize him, he will not sign a new deal, and they will get him either on a free or in the last year of his contract on a cheap fee. So, for example, if they can talk to William Saliba right now, they know that they can destabilize him. And he doesn't sign a new deal. He's remaining with two years on his deal. He goes into the final year of his contract, and instead of paying 80 million, they could sign him for around 45, or they could sign him for around 50 million. They've done it with Rudiger. It was a free deal. They've done it with Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's a free deal. They've done it with Camavinga. They've done it. So it shows you that they have changed their strategy. Now, they've spent some huge money on Jude Bellingham and Aurelien Tchouameni. I think Tchouameni, it was like about 80 million. There's competition there. But apart from that, their strategy is to get William Saliba to refuse to sign a new deal, and then they can take him. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Arsenal are past that. If this was the era of Edu, there is a possibility, because Edu did let some contracts run down as well. But if this was the era of maybe Steven Mislintat, the era of the Ivan Gazidis of this world at Arsenal, you'd be scared. But for now, with Andrea Berta at the helm and this Arsenal team really working to get this project, winning, I think Saliba will stay. I think they're all incentives for him to stay, unless otherwise. I expect him to stay. With Thomas Partey, he's got to take a pay cut. I think that's where the scare is. That what if he doesn't want to take a pay cut? What if he doesn't? What if he isn't interested in taking a pay cut? What happens then, right? And what I would say there is, again, this goes down to Andrea Berta and to Mikel Arteta. How important are you going to make him feel? If he feels important, if he feels that he's going to be a part of this Arsenal team, regardless of whether he's a starter or not, I think he'll stay. If he feels like he's going to be a squad player all through, I think he's going to ask for opportunities elsewhere. But I still expect Partey to stay with that new contract on the table, and expect Saliba to stay as well. Now, Mikel has been talking about attacking options. He was asked about attacking options in his press conferences. And he said, we need attacking options. We need options in those areas. And like I said at the beginning of this video, this is like the 10th time that he has asked for attacking options within the same season. In January, it was a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more tense. And after the January transfer window, he said he was disappointed. He said they were disappointed, right? They thought they would get options or players, and they didn't. And of course, it was right to be upset. The likes of Matthias Tel were available on a loan deal, didn't get that deal done, and it's done well for Spurs, to be honest with them. And a couple of other options. I think Rashford was available as well. Watkins was offered to us as well. So there were options. So once again, he's asked for attacking options, but this time he's asked for attacking options at the right time, because Arsenal are working on a couple of deals. We just talked about that Victor Gyokeres deal that will change everything in terms of the way Arsenal set up, but also in the terms of, we've not had a good striker in like how many years? I don't know. Aubameyang was good. So I will count Aubameyang. Going backwards, Aubameyang and Van Persie. I think those are the two strikers you can remember in recent memory that you can cherish at Arsenal. So I think Gyokerez just comes in and he changes that line. And then in terms of a left winger, it's a little bit unknown whether Arsenal are going to be selling one of Trossard or Martinelli, or they're looking to do something different. But we've been told that a departure has to happen for a left winger to come in. And I have a video coming up on left wingers, Arsenal looking at Liao and Lookman now as very, very serious options if Nico Williams doesn't happen. So I think he will get a left winger this summer. He will get a striker as well. There's a question on whether he will get an attacking midfielder. Arsenal looking at Kanouz, Bilal El Kanouz at Leicester City, but also we have a range of other attacking midfielders that we've been linked with. And the links point to the fact that Arsenal are willing to spend money in that particular position. You have Oyhan Sunset at Bilbao. You have Bilal El Kanouz now at Leicester. You have Javi Simons at RB Leipzig. You have Ada Gulay at Real Madrid. I think that's enough sample to show you that Arsenal are interested in something there. If you remember last summer, we wanted a midfielder, and we were linked with all sorts of midfielders. Berta Eze was linked, Mikel Merino was linked, eventually signed. You had Fabian Ruiz linked as well, eventually signed. Bruno Guimaraes as well was linked. I think the links will show you where Arsenal are focusing. So a centre forward, for me, it will happen. A left winger, if Arsenal are willing to, I'll tell you something. At this point, I'm willing to sacrifice Gabriel Martinelli. I'm really willing to sacrifice Gabriel Martinelli because I've given him. It's not enough time because it's just 22, 23. But I think there are elements of his game that are not growing, and there are elements of his game that are so young for the top level. So I think I would trade Gabriel Martinelli for a player like Rafael, right? For a player like Rafael. Like I told you, I was very surprised and shocked that Arsenal didn't fight for Kavice Kvaratskhelia. What a player. What a player. You saw what he did to Julian Timber. There are very few players that can get Julian Timber out of position like that, that can trouble him for 90 minutes like that. So I think in terms of attacking options, I think he gets a centre forward. I think he gets a left winger. I think he gets an attacking midfielder. I think that is enough for this summer. Arsenal hope to sign Bilal El Khanous in a bargain deal of around 30 million euros. That would be around 23 million pounds. I don't know the importance of the attacking midfield position for Mikel. If he thinks that it is so important, then Bilal El Khanous doesn't work. But if he thinks that Bilal El Khanous or an attacking midfielder is a player that would come in just for specific tasks and specific games, then a player like Bilal El Khanous would work. Of course, the deal itself is a good one. For 30 million euros, really talented Moroccan midfielder, you could sell him for around 40 million, 45 in the future. It's the same thing with Liam Delap, and why I want Arsenal to do a Liam Delap deal. He doesn't start every day. You're not going to put a lot of pressure on him. If he comes good, well and good. It was a bargain. You've got a very good player. But if it doesn't work out, his market value is still high. They are very young players, and you can get a lot of money out of them. But hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. We'll be talking about Watkins and Liam Delap on the next video, and then we'll talk about the left winger situation on the third video. See you soon.